everyone, I hope you're doing good, and in today's module we are going to learn les adjectifs qualificatifs, that is the qualifying adjectives in French. When I say it's qualifying adjectives, that means we are going to learn the describing words in French. So let's just observe the sentence. Raj est grand, Ria est grande, Raj et Sam sont grands, Ria et Clara sont grandes. Grand means tall. So I'm saying Raj is tall, Ria is tall, Raj and Sam are tall, and Ria and Clara are tall. There is a change. Do you observe in these sentences the spelling of grand is changing? Does this happen in English? Do we say Raj is tall, Ria is tally, Raj and Sam are talls, Ria and Clara are tallies? No, right? But in French this happens because in French the adjectives, they agree with the number and gender of the noun that is qualified. What do you mean by this? This means in the first sentence when I'm saying Raj est grand, whom am I describing? I'm describing Raj. As Raj is masculine singular, the number and gender of Raj is a boy, so he's masculine. And he's singular as there is one person, my adjective will also be masculine singular. In the next sentence, what is the number and gender of Ria? Because I'm describing Ria. Ria is feminine singular, and that's why my adjective will also be feminine singular. Raj is Sam. In the third sentence, I'm describing Raj and Sam. Can you tell me what's the number and gender of Raj and Sam? Is it singular or plural? Plural. Masculine or feminine? Masculine. So as Raj and Sam are masculine plural, my adjective will also be masculine plural. And the last sentence, whom am I describing? Ria et Clara sont grandes. I am describing Ria and Clara. And as Ria and Clara are feminine plural, my adjective will also be feminine plural. So just to summarize that in French, we have one adjective will have four forms. That is the masculine singular form, feminine singular form, masculine plural form, and the feminine plural form. So this word grand means tall. So what is the masculine singular form? G-R-A-N-D. What is the feminine singular form? G-R-A-N-D-E. What is the masculine plural form? G-R-A-N-D-S. And feminine plural form is G-R-A-N-D-E-S. Does that mean that you need to learn all the four forms, every adjective for every adjective? No. There are rules to make the adjective plural, and there are rules to learn how to make the adjectives feminine. So are you ready? Let's learn how to make the adjectives plural in French. Now, to make the adjectives plural in French, we follow the same rule of how to make the nouns plural. So do you remember how to make the nouns plural? Okay, anyways, let's revise how to make the adjectives plural, wherein the first rule says you add S to the singular form. We just observed intelligent plural will be intelligent with an S. Grand plural will be grand. Intelligent, intelligent, grand, grand. If you notice, there is no change in the pronunciation because again, you know that the last consonant is not pronounced. Okay, so the first rule is the easiest rule to make plural. You just add an S. The second rule says that if my adjective is already ending in S, X or Z, then I will do no change in plural. My plural will be as it is. Let's take an example, grow. That means fat. And the plural of grow is as it is, there is no change. It is grow. Let's take one more example. Un garçon français. I want to make this plural. In this, where is my adjective? My adjective is français. A French boy. Français is the adjective. Why? Because it is telling you more about the noun, right? It's telling you that, okay, it's a French boy. So I need to make it plural to French boys. So I need to make français also plural. Okay, so let's make this thing plural. What is the plural of un? Un is an article. Okay. Une, they. So the plural of is they. Garçon, how will I make this noun plural? Simple rule, add s. And français, how am I going to make it plural? Yes, I will be doing no change because it is already ending in s. Des garçons français. I hope you are understanding. The second rule says if my singular adjective is already ending in sxz, then there is no change in the plural form. And let's observe the third rule. The third rule says that if my adjective is ending in eau or ou or eu, then to make it plural, I will be adding an x to the end. Let's take an example. Beau. Beau means handsome and I want to make it plural. I am going to add an x. Beau. Le beau garçon. I want to make this plural. The handsome boy. What will be the plural of this article le? We've already learned, right? Le, la, le, l apostrophe. So the plural of le will be le. Beau, how am I going to make it plural? I'm going to add an x. And garçon, the boy, how am I going to make it to boys? I'm going to add an s. Les beaux garçons. So the third rule says that if your adjective ends in eau or ou or eu, then to make it plural, we are going to add an x. Let's observe the next rule that says that adjectives ending in al or ail will change to aux. What do you mean when I say it changes to aux? For example, national. I want to make it plural. It's ending in al, so I have to remove the al and then I have to add aux. So here it will become nationaux. Okay, now let's try un joueur national. Un joueur national is a national player. I want to make it plural. What is the plural of this article? We already know they. Joueur, player, I need to make it plural. Simple rule, add s. Des joueurs. And national plural is nationaux. And yes, these were the 4 rules to make the nouns as well as the adjectives plural. Simple rule, add s. Already ending in sxz, no change. Ending in eau, ou, eu, we add an x. And ending in al or ail will change to aux. And now let's proceed learning how to make the adjectives feminine. The first rule says to make an adjective feminine, we simply add an e to the masculine form. For example, intelligent, and I want to make it feminine, it's going to become intelligente by adding an e. One more example, grand. And the feminine of grand is going to be grande. Here, when we change an adjective from masculine form to the feminine form, of course, there is a change in the pronunciation. Intelligent, intelligente. Grand, grande. Because there is a rule, the pronunciation rule says that normally the last consonant is silent, but when the last consonant is followed by the letter E, then we will pronounce the last consonant. That means in the word intelligent, which is my last consonant, letter T. So I will be pronouncing this letter T because it is followed by the letter E. So here it's going to be intelligent. Okay, let's proceed. The second rule says that if my adjective in the masculine form is ending in E, then while making it feminine, there will be no change because of course the requirement is complete, right? There is already an E in the masculine form. Then why to add an extra E? Okay, so if an adjective is ending in E, then there is no change. Let's take an example. Mans, that is thin, or someone who is slim. Okay, mans. So the feminine of that is as it is. There is no change. It is mans. Un garçon mans. I want to make it feminine. Now remember, I don't need to confuse with making plural. I need to make this feminine. A thin boy. What's going to be the feminine of a thin boy? A thin girl, right? So what's a girl called in French? Une fille. and mans will be as it is. It's going to be mans. Yun, fi, mans. Okay, let's proceed. Of course, there are more rules to make the adjectives feminine. I'm just putting up on this table so that it's easier for us. If my adjective, my masculine adjective is ending in F, to make it feminine, we are going to change it to VE. Let's take an example. Sportif, and the feminine of sportif is sportive. Okay? If my masculine adjective is ending in X, in feminine it will change to SE. For example, paresseux, and the feminine of paresseux is paresseuse. Paresseux means lazy. Okay, let's proceed. The next rule says that if my masculine adjective is ending in ER, the feminine of this adjective will change to E grave RE. Let's take an example. Léger, légère. That means lightweight. Something that is of lightweight. Léger, légère. And the last rule says that if my adjective is ending in ON, EN, OS, ET. Again, ON, EN, OSET. In these cases, I'm going to double the last consonant and then I will be adding an E. For example, bon. And the feminine of bon is bonne. Andien. Andien. Wherein I'm doubling the last consonant. Gros. The feminine of gros is grosse. And coquet. The feminine of coquet is coquette. Bon means good. Andien is Indian. Gros means fat. And coquet means someone who is very stylish. Okay, so let's proceed and let's revise again the rules of making the adjectives feminine. The first rule says that you simply add an E. The second rule says that if my masculine adjective is already ending in E, then the feminine, there will be no change. The third rule says that if my masculine adjective is ending in F, then the feminine will become VE. If my masculine adjective is ending in X, then it will change to SE. If my masculine adjective is ending in ER, to make it feminine, we are going to change it to E grave RE. And if my masculine adjective is ending in ON, EN, OSET, in these cases, I'm going to double the last consonant and then add an E. I am just moving aside. I want you to take a screenshot of this. Okay, let's proceed now with some of the examples. As I told you, for learning the adjectives, you don't need to learn all the 4 forms. You just need to learn the masculine singular form. And with the help of the rules, you can make it feminine singular, you can make it masculine plural, or you can also make it feminine plural. So, tall or big in French, we already know by now, is gros. And you tell me now, how am I going to make it masculine plural? Simple rule, add S. Let's take one more word. Petit. Petit means small, okay? And how am I going to make it plural? Simply add an S. Next word is fat. What is fat called in French? Gros. How am I going to make it masculine plural? There will be no change because we know already words ending in SXZ, no change in plural. Next is thin. What is thin called in French? Do you know? Yes. It is mans. How am I going to make it plural? Simply add an S. My next word here is good. What is good called in French? Bon. How am I going to make it masculine plural? Simply add an S. The next word is bad. Bad in French is called as mauvais. Plural, there will be no change because already ending in S. And the last word that we are going to learn is what's beautiful and handsome called in French. That is beau. And what will be the plural of beau? It is ending in EAU. So here we are going to add an X. So I hope you just need to learn the masculine singular form. This masculine plural, you just use the plural rules on the masculine singular. Okay, now let's learn, or let's apply how to make the adjectives feminine. What will be the feminine of grand? It will be grands. Simply add an E. What's going to be the feminine of petit? It is going to be petite. Simply add an E. What will be the feminine of gros? As we already know this rule, the rule says that ending in OS, you double the last consonant and add E. So here it will be gross. So gros, gross. For mans, how am I going to make it feminine singular? It is already ending in E, right? My masculine form is already ending in E. So in feminine singular, there will be no change. Bon. In this case, how am I going to make it feminine singular? It is ending in ON. So we are going to double the last consonant and then add E. Bon, B-O-N-N-E. Mauvais, how am I going to make it feminine? Simply adding an E. Now, the feminine of beau is completely different. Okay? So there are some adjectives, of course, whose feminine is different, to which we need to learn. Beautiful in French is called as belle. Let's proceed now. If I have to make feminine plural, I will request you all to take help of feminine singular. Use the same plural rules on feminine singular. So if you want to make feminine plural, you will use the same plural rules of feminine singular. Some learners say that, ma'am, if I want to make feminine plural, I take help of masculine singular and I add ES. But that's not correct, because sometimes you might end up getting the wrong word. So if you want to make feminine plural, take help of feminine singular, and let's try grand. How am I going to make it plural? I'm simply going to add an S. Petit. How am I going to make it plural? Simply add an S. Next, gross. I want to make it plural. Add an S. Mans. Add an S. Bon. Add an S. Mauvaise. We will add an S. Belle. We will be adding an S. So we have made feminine plural by almost adding an S to the feminine singular. And I hope you understood how to make the adjectives masculine plural, how to make the adjectives feminine plural, how to make the adjectives feminine singular. Just remember one thing, if you want to make an adjective feminine singular, you take help of masculine singular. If you want to make an adjective masculine plural, you take help of masculine singular. But if you want to make an adjective feminine plural, I request you to use the same plural rules to the feminine singular. I hope you understood this module. See you in the next module. Till then, au revoir.